Let me just check. All right, we're live. Hi, everyone. How you guys doing? Thank you for joining us. I'm just going to make sure that we are up and ready with this live. Sometimes there's a delay, and I see we are on board. Diamond, would you like to give the announcements first?
Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. As you're coming in, please like this video. Please share it with someone. Also, let us know in the comment section where you are tuning in from, where you watching from. We see that we have Melanie from Mississippi. So let us know where you are tuning in from. And tonight's topic is going to be 3 simple steps to increase your credit score by 100 points in 30 days. Now, as you're coming in, people usually have questions, and we are seeing your questions, and we're going to probably circle back to them towards the end. So if you just have them, we will mark them. We are seeing them, and we will come back to those questions. So, Mom, you could go ahead and get started.
And we're not going to hold you long. Thank you for everybody checking in. Rob G, you always check in on my videos. Thank you so much. Kimberly Hampton. I see all of you. Marshall Smith and Tara Murphy and Anita Jones. Thank you guys. And Martha Way. So thank y'all for coming in. So what the topic is, a lot of you guys may have experienced a hit, especially with these student loans. It's a lot of changes, and I'm going to drop a video. It's a change coming up August 1st that you guys need to know about, but I want to make sure I give you this information tonight so it's not long. Thank you, Miss Murphy, for the super sticker. Thank you. You always support the live. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And we want to make sure that you have some things that's tangible that you can do to increase your credit score if you experience that hit, whatever is taking place. Now, number one, if you guys have experienced something negative on your credit report, Diamond, pull up some of the reporting that they may see. If you see this type of reporting, what we need you to do is handle the reporting in this fashion first. Because one thing about with your credit score, if you have something negative hitting you every month, it keeps your credit score down. For instance, if you are behind on your current credit card payment, car payment, and you know this account is open, just say you just got behind, or you might be 2 or 3 months behind. You want to bring that current, especially in the case of a lot of you guys with the changes with the student loans. You want to stop that negative reporting of late. And then once you bring it current, you can go ahead and then start to dispute that, but bring it current so your score to go up. So once anything new negative hits your credit report, it's generally about 60 days. You have to let your score heal in order for your score to go up. Diamond, are you able to pull up that example? Okay, she's gonna, and I'm gonna show you guys. So we're gonna come back to that. If you guys see anything like this every month hitting a CO, especially with collections. Collections is a violation for them to do something like this because it's already charged off and the collection company bought it. They should not be reporting with a C every month. And the same thing also with charge-offs. If they charged it off, it shouldn't be hitting you late every month. That one, charge-offs are a little up in the air, but sometimes it's a battle with them. What you want to do is dispute it because they are the original creditor. But if you see it with a collection, it's totally a violation every month. They shouldn't have a late payment. You never did business with them. With charge-offs too, if they charged it off, they cannot be expecting a next month payment. So if you see this going on with any of your accounts, it's designed to keep your credit score down to force you to pay them. So you want to dispute that. That's number one, in order for you to take the next 3 steps to increase your credit score in 30 days. And so you can dispute this. You can send dispute letters directly with the credit bureaus. My Elite Credit System is one of the ways that it imports your credit scores and send out and find these reporting errors for you within 2 minutes of you connecting to the system. It imports it in and it finds the inconsistencies in your reporting, because if it's coming from one source, let's say you have a collection, LVMV is a big popular one. If they're reporting late every month to TransUnion, but they're not reporting like that to Equifax, then if it's coming from the same source already, that is not 100% accurate reporting. So in order for them to keep something on your credit report, it has to be 100% complete and 100% accurate. So if you see different dates of last payment, they like to switch that off. The date of last payment is the exact last payment date that you paid on that account. Even if you paid it and it default, it wasn't completely paid off, that date is going to be your date of last payment. That starts the clock for that 7 years before it falls off. If you run and pay it, then it starts the clock again. So you want to be careful with those items. You want to dispute it so your score can go up. Diamond, drop them the link to the Elite Credit System if you guys have this going on and you need my help with the coaching and with our AI software, and that can help you stop this. So now you can go to the next steps in order to increase your credit score. So Diamond, you could take this down. The next step to increase your credit score, number one of the things that you guys can use is rent reporter accounts. So Diamond is going to drop you some. You're going to have Boom, which is a good one to use, because with Boom, they report your payments of your rent to all 3 credit reporting agencies. Now with them, they can go back 2 years. But in order for you to use Boom, you had to pay your rent from one account. And so by reporting that past rental payment, what will happen, those past on-time payments will help you with your payment history, which is 35% of your credit score, and your ongoing payments can help you with on-time payments. So just like with those student loans, if you miss your payments, this can add on positive payments than those negative payments to help balance some out. Another thing, you guys, if you got hit by those student loans, a suggestion, you may want to consolidate your student loan debt, because we had even a person in our group, it was 27 different student loan accounts. And so when they got hit with that late payment, it was on 27 accounts. So if you can consolidate those student loans for moving forward, so you don't have all that going on, because it's a lot of movement, a lot of late payments, a lot of things going on. And I'm going to next week I'll go into that with the student loans and focus primarily on that, because a lot of people are having a lot of problems with that. And so we got some information for you on how you can tackle that. But with Boom, that rent reporter, that can give you some on-time payments, even if you have late car payments or things that you had in the past, that can be added on. And if you did not pay it all out, you can go with Rental Kharma. And because sometimes people say, hey, I might have paid my rent from this account, then on this account, I wrote a check. It wasn't all consistent. So you would not be able to use Boom. You can use Rental Karma. But the good thing with Rental Karma, they can go all the way back to how long you lived in that unit. It's not a 10-year, I mean, there's not a 2-year stop. You can go as long as you live there, so you can get even more past on-time payments reported. And these are a primary account. You're not piggybacking off of somebody else's account. It's your account. So that is a good one. And they have ways to verify you. But with Rental Karma, they report to Equifax and TransUnion. They do not report to Experian. But the good thing with them, they can report within the time period of 3 days. So you can see that show up very quickly. So those are two things that you can, and it's a primary account in your name, and that can help increase your credit score. Now, the second thing that you need to do, you guys hear me talk about this all the time. A lot of people want to dispute only negative items, but they'll think about past payment history, like late payments, how to dispute that. And a lot of people know payment history is 35%, the biggest chunk of your credit score. But the second biggest chunk, which is only 5 points difference, is utilization. So one thing, if you're under a 700 credit score, with being under a 700 credit score, by adding a line of credit, you can see an average increase in your credit score by 50 points on average, and you without removing a negative item. Now, when I say removing a negative item, to see your score go up just by adding this new line of credit, meaning if you have an account that hits you, as long as it's not reporting late every month, like I showed you at the beginning of this video, if it's not dinging you every month, you don't have to remove that to see your score go up, just by adding a line of credit, a revolving line of credit, almost similar to a credit card account. Now, one of my favorites with that is Ava, and Diamond's going to drop that. Ava is an account where within 7 days they can report a line of credit. But with Ava, the way it works, it's not a real credit card line where you can go and buy things. What they would do is pay for certain subscriptions that you have, and you can use Ava, and they'll take the money out of your bank account, and they will report this line of credit for you without a hard inquiry. And they can report it within 7 days. So you can see that before that 30-day time frame, and you can see your credit score go up by 50 points fairly quickly with Ava. And we can add on, like I said, those rent reporters. So that's going to also add on your points to get your credit score to go up. Now, one of the things with Rental Karma, if you want to fill out where your credit score is, how many points that you're going to get by adding on those rent reporters, they have a tool, and you can go to their website and kind of gauge where your credit score is now, on how many points that will average you out. So you can use that, plus the Ava can give you an average of 50 points within 7 days. And that's going to boost your credit score up from some of that damage you had. So Diamond dropped that link so you guys can check that out. Now, the third one, which is a real good one, to add that other line of credit. So to help your utilization, and with a lot of people with this third one, why it's good, if you're one of those people that only seem to get those little small credit card lines, and it's a $300 credit card line you're getting approved for $500. And you're like, come on, give me a break. Can I get a real credit card line? The reason why they're doing that is because banks only trust you as far as the last bank trusts you. So if nobody give you a chance, it's very hard to get a larger credit card line. So what happens in that case, a lot of times banks know you have to develop a relationship over a long period of time to get those larger lines of credit. So one thing with Ava, they can report up to a $2,500 line of credit in that 7 days. So that's going to show up well for you guys who have those smaller lines. And it's going to be primary because when banks judge you, it have to be on your own merit. A lot of us, I love authorized user accounts. And back in the day, they used to judge that for your credit line. If your mom and dad have a $20,000 credit line or a spouse, you could be added on, and the banks will see that as your merit. But now they notate it on the credit reports. So another one you can get up to $10,000 with is a company called Yendo. Now with Yendo, they will use your car to give you and qualify you for a credit line. And so it will be leveraged off your car. Unlike Ava, Yendo, you could have access to that cash. Now, remember, this is based off of your vehicle. So I would not go crazy with that to pull cash off, but it can show up to a $10,000 credit card line as a primary line of credit for you. So that can help you when you go to another banking institution to qualify for a larger line of credit. Now, with that, by adding the Ava and now adding Yendo onto your credit report, that is another 50 points on average if you're under a 700 credit score. So that can give you right there those 100 points that you're looking for. So with that, adding them on, using your vehicle, what they're going to look at the values of your vehicle. Even if you have payments, you can refinance that. And it does have an annual fee of about like $49 annual fee. And they want you to make a certain amount of income. They're not looking at your credit score to really qualify you, but they'll look at your generated income. And what they're looking for is annual income of a $60,000 income. So make sure you take account all of your income, you guys, your household income. So if you want to qualify for that, and you can use that to get cash if you need it. And now that interest rate on that card is around 26%, which a lot of credit cards like Discover, it's about 21, 24%. Capital One is about in that range. So it's not that far off, but you don't want to risk your vehicle. The company will tell you they want to work with you. So if you miss a payment, it's not like they're taking your vehicle just straight up. But I would just use it to have that line of credit to report on my credit report. Now, with those two options, I keep saying under a 700 credit score, because if you're above a 700 credit score, adding a new line of credit can have the opposite effect. It can decrease your credit score, right? Because age of credit is very important. It's the third largest factor. So age of credit get really important when you go over a 700 credit score. So for you guys, I don't want to leave you. I'm going to give you a bonus tip for you guys, number 4 or a bonus, because even those under a 700 credit score can use this. And that is 2 options. You can increase your current line of credit. So if you already got a credit card, apply for a soft pull credit line increase. So it's not like you open a new account. that don't have age. It's your current account. And by bumping that up, that can help your utilization. Make sure if you got a Capital One, Discover, also Chase, um, a lot of those, I have to, matter of fact, let me rewind that. I know Capital One and Discover. Um, Another one is Navy Federal. You can do that in app. It's a soft pull. Now, sometimes when you call in, they'll do a hard pull. So do it in the app. Those three companies. I believe Chase is a soft pull, but I have to really jog my memory to remember because I do have a Chase card and I did. I'll be honest. When in doubt, I'll check it out. Just make sure if you do have a Chase card, call in and ask them, will it be a soft pull? A lot of them must say in app. They'll tell you over the phone. Some companies, if you process it through a rep, it's a hard pull. So just make sure whoever your company is in app. I got a lot of companies and I ain't gonna front. I don't remember them all. Like I know Bank of America. I'm not sure. I believe they're a soft pull too, but I know for a fact Capital One. I know Discover is Navy Federal. If you're one of them, in app, Navy Federal, Discover in app, and I have Citibank. I believe that's a soft pull too, but call in and that can be a way for you to increase your credit score. And the second way is piggybacking. So an authorized user account. Okay. So with all the other ways I named, this is going to be primary for you. So even getting that soft pull, that's going to help you qualify for larger credit lines. Now, adding on the authorized user, it can increase your credit score, but unlike the other options, it's not primary. So the banks will not judge that if you're going for a new credit line, but you can see your score increase and you can double dip with authorized users. You can piggyback off of somebody's credit history. So if you're adding on as an authorized user, the older the account, the better. So if somebody have 10 years and up, that is awesome. You're going to see some of the best past payment results, and it's going to help with your age of credit and credit card utilization as long as they have that card utilization under 30%. Okay. That's optimal. A little more, you might start seeing, you may see an improvement in your credit score where you are currently, but the more they add, you could see an opposite effect. So just be careful with that and make sure they never had a late payment on there, because if it was a late payment prior, that'll come on to you. And sometimes it's problematic to get it off once you add it on. So those are some of the strategies that you guys can use to get that increase of really 100 points and more in that 30 days. Like I said, be careful if you have something already dinging you every month. Make sure before you put any money or invest any of your time to go for the other options, you stop that negative reporting. Okay. So those are the tips. And Diamond, I'm going to let you come up and let's see if you guys have questions. Let me answer your questions and make sure, do me a favor, you guys, if y'all coming in, everybody's here. It's 88 people. Hit the thumbs up for me so more people can get the live.
Really quickly, I wanted to shout out Wireless Sunday, who gave $5 for a super chat. So thank you so much for that.
Wireless Sunday, thank you so much. I am so, and Diamond is so appreciated for you guys give. Thank you. And Tara confirmed for y'all. She said yes, Citibank as well. It's a soft pull. So thank you guys for that feedback. And thank you so much, Wireless Sunday, for the super chat. We appreciate you and Tara Murphy. So thank you.
So Chantrell Hawkins said, "Hello, what can I do with collections other than just disputing them?"
You want to send a debt validation letter. And so a lot of times with collections, they're purchased by a third party collector, and they have to prove they have a legal right to collect on the debt. And many of them don't, because they buy these things in a portfolio. That's why portfolio recovery services, a lot of these might have portfolio in their name. So they're buying my debt, Diamond's debt, everybody debt all in one lump. And they don't have real proof that they legally bought it or have a legal right to even collect on the debt. So, for example, many of us go to Walmart and you right at that register, and then you going out the door and they like, let me see your receipt. Well, you just saw me over here. I clearly bought it. Need the receipt. Same thing with their debt. We don't care that it's popping up on my credit report. Can I see a receipt that you bought that? And that's your right under the federal law, the Fair Debt Collection Practices. So you want to send them that certified mail to them. Even if you missed the time period to validate it, they still need to send you proof. Many of them will send you a bill, and that's not proof that you have a debt. And if it's a medical bill, that's a violation of HIPAA for them to just have your medical information. So when you send them that debt validation letter, do not sign that letter. They can take your signature and put it on a contract, and you don't want that. So Diamond, can you drop the link for we have a DIY package, and if y'all need those letters, you can get that. Or if you join the elite credit system and you want the system and everything else, we do have that letter in our resources that you can download.
Okay, I will be dropping that in the comment section now, just to make sure we're answering her question. What if she didn't want to dispute? What are the alternative options to disputing collections?
The debt validation letter.
Gotcha.
And you don't want to pay those guys, you guys, because many times, do not talk. Let me reiterate this. Do not talk on the phone to them, okay? Because number one, when they verify, is this you? Is this your, that sometimes give them, once they verify you, they can slap that on your credit report after the 30 days because they can say that's contact. Second, they record those phone calls to get a verbal agreement out of you. And some of you guys, that debt might be past the limit of the statute of limitations in your state. So you agreeing to pay them, that can open you up for a lawsuit. And they love that. People will just call you with those debts and you don't even owe them, and you just get on the phone and say, I'll pay you. You're doing a verbal agreement. That's why people go to the go in front of the church and say I do, and it's a whole legal process to get up out of it. It's called a verbal agreement. And if you want to test it, when they call you, tell them, I would gladly talk to you on this phone call, but I don't want to be recorded. They're going to tell you they can't do that and hang up because they know they are borderline illegal. So make sure that's what you do. Send them a debt validation letter.
Yep. And we have another question from Vanessa. Vanessa said, how much is it for your personal guidance? I have too many things going on and I need expert advice.
With the elite credit system, is $39.99 a month. Our meetings is every Saturday. So I'm there every Saturday, and just pull up and we can help you. So if you guys want to try it out for a month, do that. And if you pull up, you see your results for yourself. And that's the way you guys can just come in contact with me personally. And one thing Miss Murphy said is it better to dispute it because you don't want to compromise your credit score? Also, it could be credited back to your account. I remember when I consolidated some, I think you meant debts, right? Debts.
Mm-hmm.
I actually got a credit to some of those accounts. Now, depending on what type of accounts that they are. So you can, I mean, here's the thing. You first can dispute it. The person asks, can I, or Diamond, did you ask that question? Is it a way that they can get rid of it without disputing it? Or was
Well,
that?
I think she was asking about alternative options, maybe paying it off, but I wanted
No,
you to
you
see
don't
just
want to
like
pay them. Yeah,
yeah.
they're the weakest. They're the weakest link. Like them and inquiries. Nah, I don't never pay them people right
Hmm.
there. Now, charge offs, you might can negotiate with the original creditor if you want to, but nah, I'm not paying somebody I don't really owe. And
For some
so,
reason, a lot of people they when I see that question, it's because they have a fear of disputing the collections for whatever reason. Maybe because of garnishment, but if it didn't get to that point of garnishment, then you could go ahead and send that. So I
with
think that might have been.
garnishment, though, they have to, if you're going to garnish you, they have to serve you. It has to be a court, in your local court. The thing I would worry about with a garnishment or a lawsuit, if it says when if you hear a attorney company contact you, if say I live in New Jersey and that attorney is in Chicago, nah, they just buying debt. But if that person is in Pennsylvania or New York, and I live in New Jersey, they might be licensed. And if they're in New Jersey, in the state you live, child, watch out because they might try to sue you. So that's where you will worry about that lawsuit. And if you get served, talk to an attorney immediately because you want to make sure the service is correct. And what I say, even legal companies, if you guys have a legal shield or something, I would consult them if you already have that program so you don't. But you can dispute it like Miss Murphy said she would prefer to dispute it, and that is good. One thing with one way is she's saying if you dispute it first with the bureaus, one thing y'all should know, they once they investigate it, they need to mark down that this account is in dispute. They need to put some notations. And a lot of times they don't. If they don't mark that is in dispute, even if you send that debt validation letter directly to the collection company and not contact the bureaus, they supposed to notify the bureaus and put that note. Because if you're going for credit, you may tell them that's not mine. I had this is not my collection. Then they can see it's in dispute and they can like disregard that until the investigation is done. So if they don't do it, the bureau or the collection company, after 30 days, then you could come back and redispute that and say these notations was not put there and this need to be deleted because they didn't follow the FCRA. So we'll land there on that one.
And really quickly, someone asked, could you explain what a debt validation letter even is?
A debt validation is your right under the Fair Credit Reporting, the Fair Debt Collection Act, for you to make sure you can validate that this company has a legal right to collect on the debt. So it is your right under the law. So once a debt collector contacts you, like a collection company, you'll see at the bottom you have 30 days to validate the debt. That's because that's your legal right. And that's what you would send them, a debt validation letter. Always send it certified mail. Okay. Always do that. So that's it. Let's read this one. Do any of you ladies have a way to get rid of late payments? Um, what happened with that late payment will be the way I would attack that. So, how old is the late payment? One thing about late payments, if it's recent, um and it's really not yours, I would try to contact the company with a phone call if it's something fresh. And if there's a reason why it was late, like they didn't draw it on time, I wouldn't just give up information. A lot of y'all, I didn't change, didn't know my bank account was frozen. Don't do all that. That's doing too much. Because you don't want to really, those calls are recorded. Just always, to my understanding, this was paid on time. Let me repeat that, because some of y'all get up there telling your business way too much on a recorded call. And then you come and tell me, well, I did tell them. I know I was late now. So you know what I'm saying? If you that's like telling the police, I know I killed somebody. Can you get me off? I did sit there. Well, so what am I supposed to do with that? Just always, to my knowledge, it was paid on time, always. So when you do that, you talk to the customer service rep, get their name, and they usually can't do nothing for you. So you always ask to speak to a supervisor. That's who's going to have the power. Okay. So you'll try to see and just let them know I paid it on time. Okay. To my understanding. All right. Unless you was really sick or had something really out of the ordinary and you constantly pay on time. But that's a wing and a prayer. Most of the time, them folks ain't going to remove that. So that's one way. The second way, you can dispute it. If it really was a charge, the Fair Credit Billing Act, a lot of y'all, if you're getting paper things, the reason why they want you to go paperless, because of that act. They supposed to, with any credit card accounts, that's revolving interest, they supposed to send you that 21 days before it's due. So that's why they trying to backdoor that. So you can always cry, I ain't get that on time. You know what I'm saying? Before the 21 days. And if it's an old late payment, you could dispute it with the credit bureaus. And if it's not consistent, that's sometimes the easiest way. If Equifax got a different month that said, hey, you was late in February, and then TransUnion said you was late in March, that's not consistent. So dispute it. I wasn't late at all. All right. So that's what you do. But if you need more help, come and talk to me. You can sign up for the Elite Credit System, and we might could work some other ways, especially if we can get some paperwork. And some of y'all, these are general questions, but if you have some other things you can add on to it, I might can give you another way according to what you had going on. You know what I'm saying? So all of this, you guys, is caveats, because some of you guys with the student loans, for instance, there's some ways that we'll get into that you need to get your hands on that account history. Okay. You need to look in your situation, because with those late payments, with those student loans, the reason why Navient, Sally Mae, and some of they wasn't applying those payments right. So a lot of that stuff got moved to Mahalia and different places you keep seeing, because they wasn't doing right. They was violating the law. So you really need to get your hands on your whole accounting. And there's a couple of ways to do that, because all of that could be wrong. A lot of y'all too, that your stuff recently might have been in deferment, and there's ways to find that out. So that would have to be another video. If you need help, sign up to Elite Credit System. All right. Thank you, you guys. I hope that helped.
So Eleanor had a question, said, after a bankruptcy, my mortgage was removed from my credit report. Should I add that back?
Hold on. Hold on. Eleanor, didn't she said they added a 7-year bankruptcy to my credit report this week? Trump? So when did you file bankruptcy, or that's somebody else bankruptcy? Or did she say somewhere else?
Well, at first she said, after bankruptcy, my mortgage was removed from my credit report. Could you clarify your question?
Yeah, because then I seen that, and I'm not sure. Yeah, it was that yours, because they'll put false information on you all the time. So if you can give me some clarity, then we can work it out.
We'll circle back to that. Mr. Stone had a question. He said, I'm at about 725 now, paid off the loans and all the debt, and they just made the amount that I borrow a lot more. Ali claimed the repo on accident. They took it back, but it's still affecting my credit score.
So how did they claim a repo on accident? Did you pay? Okay. Can I borrow a lot more? LOL. They claimed the repo on accident. If that was just a joke, let me know, because it's hard to tell. If you're saying they claimed it on accident, wink, wink, let me know, because that's the whole. It's a different caveat. That's why I'm saying it'd be like, so depending on how y'all, if the repo was, let's say, accident, wink, wink, and it's back on your credit score. I'm trying to see, because you said you paid off all your loans and all your debts. They just made the amount I can borrow a lot more. Okay. Um, LOL. Ali claimed. So is the repo on your credit report or not? They took it back, but it's still effect, because if they took it back, it might be reporting as a charge off or a collection. But if I can get some more information, because
Yeah,
it
Mr.
depends.
Tone, if you're still
Yeah.
here, can you please clarify? Because he asked it a little earlier in the live, but if you're still
Okay.
here, please clarify your question, please. But
And going back to y'all, you
oh,
guys, y'all answer is, see these questions. A lot of y'all think questions is just general, and it's not. It depends, because with a repo, in his case, it could be as a charge off. If it's just a charge off, that's a different strategy than if it's a collection. So please keep in mind if we get some details.
Larvin said, I have a voluntary repo. I gave back my car because I fell on hard times. How do I
Mhm.
get this off of my credit? I had a timeshare, which was horrible. How can I have these? So, okay, he wants to remove a timeshare and a repo.
A repo, you can dispute it. Like I said, if it's a charge off, we'll look at it and see how it's reporting. Or it could be both. It could be a charge off and a collection. It's going to be the way to attack it. So if it's a charge off with a balance, that means it hasn't been sold yet. And so if it's say like $10,000, that's with the company. So what you want to do, first dispute it, get off always old addresses, especially where you open that account, and that can help to dispute it. But if it's more challenging and it's still with the company, you want to request all the payment history on that account after you do like 3 rounds of dispute, to catch them in a lie on what you're finding with the elite credit system. If they see some inconsistencies in the reporting across the three and they're not removing it, we want to get the actual records. Now we can see, they were lying. Here's the records. And they said this was reporting correctly. Then you submit that proof. And if they don't remove it, you could put a complaint in with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's one way. But if it's a collection, you can do a debt validation letter. And there's certain things when they took that repo, things that they should have done. So you can demand that proof. And a lot of times they don't have it. And that's the same with the charge off too. So those are some of the strategies you can get it removed. And a timeshare is like a mortgage. That can be a little challenging, because what's the state of it? Is it still active? Is it hitting you negatively? Those are really challenging, because it's like a real mortgage. So that paperwork is there. Um, if you can give me some more info, that one I might need to talk to you with the group. We have some people that had negotiated that, but they had to deal with some attorneys. Timeshares can be stubborn. Sometimes you can sell that, but I would need with the timeshare some more information.
Circling back to Eleanor, I'm trying to just get an understanding. So I believe they filed for bankruptcy in 2017,
Mhm.
but it wasn't reporting on their credit reports until now, the bankruptcy. I didn't put my house
Mhm.
in bankruptcy, so it's not on my report. I've been paying on time for 20 years. Should I add it back? The bank told me not to put it back on, but that doesn't make sense to me.
I'm confused. So bankruptcy, earlier you said chapter 7. Did you have a chapter 5? How long ago was the bankruptcy? Uh,
2017.
18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. It depends. 7 can report for 10 years. If you had 5, chapter 5 is 7 years. So I need to, yeah, bankruptcy. No, it don't take if you do it chapter 7, it takes 10 years for that to come off, but you can still dispute it. So
Now, if I'm not, I believe they're trying to ask that they didn't bankrupt off their mortgage, and they want their mortgage on their credit report as positive history. If I believe that that's what they're trying to say, because it's on time, the mortgage has been there for 20. They've had the mortgage for 20 years, and they want that as reporting.
talk to your bankruptcy attorney.
Yeah. Okay.
Because if he didn't wrap it up in the bankruptcy, then you need to talk to the attorney you did the bankruptcy with and have him to go back and negotiate it, because he would have did the paperwork to wrap it in. But a lot of people do chapter 5. No, hold on. Yeah, is it? No, not chapter 5. What am I talking? Chapter 13, y'all. Please forgive me. I was up early. Chapter 13, not chapter 5. It's chapter 7. 11 is for businesses, and 13. So if you filed chapter 13, though, it don't show up. Your mortgage, if it got wrapped up in that, it don't report to your credit report while you're in that payment program. So make sure you had your chapters right. I'm not sure. You might have to talk to your bankruptcy attorney.
Vanessa asks, all my Capital One cards were closed, although I was paying them, and they sent me a letter saying there was a possible fraud and no further information was available, but this decreased my score. What can I do?
Okay, all my credit cards were closed. I was paying them. They sent me a letter saying it was possible fraud and no for okay. Okay. So, here's the thing, Vanessa. Are those things still on your credit report? Because if it was fraud, then those late payments, if they close your accounts out, if you had balances, it jacked up your utilization. So they dropped your it made it look like those credit card lines was all maxed out. Plus, if you lost your credit card lines, your utilization, even if they remove that, you'll have a 0. So you can add like an AVA on there to help increase your credit score, that option, or even make them go on with the Yendo. Probably AVA would be the best option to do that, so you can increase your credit score. If it was fraud, keep that letter. Keep that letter, because that you can leverage maybe to get the rest of that stuff off. And if you can give me more details, like you said, about join the system and give me some more information on that, and keep that letter, because we can use that. All right. According to your stuff and anything else, keep that letter. So keep that in mind and go back up. I think Eleanor just added something. I think she said, I saw it. Eleanor, you said you don't know which chapter you filed, but you kept the house in the car. It sounds like 13. 13 should only report for about 7 years. Chapter 7, 10 years. So going back to talking to your attorney, your bankruptcy attorney, he'll know what you filed. So if you don't know, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I can only gather a little information, but if you kept your car and it sounds like a 13, but to be sure, I need the right information. I can know if you join the system, if you're part of the system, then I can look at your credit report. I have access to that. Then I can tell you what's there. But when y'all giving me these questions, I'm working behind, I'm pulling on experience. So this is why the system is good, because if you don't know, that's a problem. You see what I'm saying with a lot of these things, how it's reporting. So just think about it like this. How am I supposed to solve it? And so that's like us ladies, a lot of you gentlemen might know about cars. But if I'm telling Diamond or a mechanic, the mechanic going to ask, what's this doing? It's going. He can take a guess. Oh, that sounds like your belt is going. You know what I mean? Yeah. He's pulling on his experience. But until he hook it up to the machine, he can't tell you. He just guessing at it, right? Same thing over here. So if you can't you're giving me the sounds like the and so I'm guessing I'm guessing at it, but for me to actually know, hook your credit up to the machine. Okay. So Diamond drop the link, hook it up to the machine. Then I can give you more definite answers. But I'm just listening to y'all sounds. You know what I'm saying? We're like, wait, hold on, add on. Did it shut off at the light? That's what we're doing to try to figure it out. Any more questions, Diamond?
Yeah, we have a couple. So Covered Girl said, "Hi, I'm currently disputing. Can you guys take over the current disputing? I would feel so much more assured."
Covered Girl, what way are you disputing? So one just thing from when you guys, if you're using a credit repair company, make sure you guys get your old letters, how they dispute it, because it's almost like changing attorneys. And I'm not an attorney, so it's not that deep, but I'm just saying, if somebody submitted paperwork, and say you have a criminal case, you don't want to change up your story. You know what I'm saying? So we need to know what direction you were already going in, and get your past letters. So if you're doing it yourself and you join the system, you pretty much can tell me. So that's a different, but if somebody else is doing it for you, make sure y'all stop that contract, because you don't want somebody two different sources sending letters for you. It's not helping. If they don't send out letters and you send more letters and that investigation isn't completed, the bureaus get more time with new information. They get an additional 15 days every new information. So you guys, just for things, stop them, make sure it's stopped, and get all the letters they sent for you, what they done.
Sai had a question. He said, two credit cards, or they said 2 credit cards with 6 years of age. Is that enough for revolving accounts, or should they? I'm guessing the question is, should they be adding more revolving accounts?
You want to have what they have, like a more experienced credit score, at least be managing about 6 revolving accounts, credit card accounts. So that's so you don't have a thin credit profile. So about 6.
Covered Girl said, "I'm 7 months out from Chapter 13 discharge, currently approximately at 651 FICO. Should I wait a year before trying to get the lenders for the duplex dispute beast currently?"
So 7 months out of Chapter 13. And you out 7 months out. And how long she been disputing for? I waited a year. What you want to do with Chapter 13, and you said for lenders for a duplex, is the duplex showing after the 13? Probably what might be showing on that account, it may be if you wrap them other items, it might show charge off discharged accounts, like wrapped under bankruptcy. So the key with any bankruptcy, you want to get at the public reporting. So at the bottom where it says public accounts, a lot of times you need to remove that, then attack those other things, those charge offs, because what's seating it, because they'll say discharge under bankruptcy, is that bankruptcy reporting. So yeah, you can dispute that. But you've been disputing if you're just connected to a system, then it's nobody you have to disconnect from. But that's probably what you have to do. You got to focus on that bankruptcy reporting, and you need to get those old addresses off. I'll go as far, if you're living where you're living now with that bankruptcy, I would try to even use another address, because that's how they keeping it on you where you filed at. So if you can get another address, your mama house or something like that, that might even give you that too, a better angle.
I had two more questions. Sorry, give me 1 second. So Stevenson said, I attempted to send a goodwill letter, but nothing happened.
Yeah, a lot of times they won't. Nothing will unless you talk to somebody, dispute it with the credit bureaus on the way with those late payments. I think I answered that question earlier. If you call in, like I said, never cop to any late payments. Nah, it wasn't me. Pull the shaggy. If not, you want to dispute, and I'll dispute like 3 rounds with that late payment and do the same thing I said about the repo. Report the whole payment history of that account directly from the company. Because after you did 3 disputes, see if they've been saying accurate. If they have and it's really been off, by getting those records from the company, then you got them.
Now someone had a question. They said, do you have strategies for people that already have over a 700 credit score? What should they
Yeah,
be doing?
yeah, I mentioned it earlier. If you got over a 700 credit score, I'll increase my credit lines with a soft inquiry pull. Like so those companies, like I said, Discover, I know Miss Murphy just said Citibank soft pull, all those others, Capital One soft pull, to try to bump up my credit lines. So I asked for a credit line increase where it won't hurt my credit score, adding on as an authorized user, and the links I dropped out for rent reporter accounts. And really controlling your current credit card utilization, pay down those credit cards, try to keep your overall utilization below 10%, and make sure you're not carrying heavy balances on one particular card. Anytime you go over, I'm going to say 50% on one particular card, get close to max out, baby, it start tanking your scores. So just bring that down. So with my elite credit system, we use smart credit. Smart credit has something called score boost. If y'all join my system, y'all please go over there and use the score boost, because it'll tell you how many points you'll get by paying on your credit cards by a certain date and how much. So you gauge that yourself, but you want to use that every month because utilization go up and down. And so it'll tell you, in your case, if you're at a 700, it's going to tell you when to pay your credit card account and how many points you can get. So it'll say this card, 22 points, 50 points on this card, pay it by this date, your score is going to be at a 750. Okay, so if you want to join, use that. You can use that, but pay down those credit cards. That's very important. That's what it sounds like you got going on, is utilization.
I believe that might have been the last question. If anyone has a last minute question, please drop it. I also wanted just to make sure that Miss Robin, that you saw the comment. If anyone is having any technical issues, you can't get into your account, or you a lot of times invalid passwords, please do email us. You can email us at support@elitecreditsystem.com, and
Yeah.
we're good about getting those things fixed right away. So usually it's just either you had the wrong password and it locked you out
And
of
we
the
can set it out.
account, and we
And
can
also,
reset it.
Miss Robin, anybody else with the elite credit system, always know every week I'm there. I was there today. So even if you can't get in and you ain't have time, just hit the link. You're getting the emails with the link to join the thing. Pull up and I can do something there. So yeah, we got customer support on the back end. Smart Credit give you customer support, and I'm there every Saturday where you could pull up. One more thing. If y'all currently are in the elite credit system, please come to one meeting. We don't want you to be in a cycle and you like, I'm disputing. A lot of people, if you pull up just one time, start
Mhm.
at the beginning. If you pull up to me, a lot of times your stuff will go much easier from the beginning and you're not wasting your time. So I had some people that's been in, it's like, and I never seen you. Let's just one time, let me help you out. Use the benefit of the service. Don't go complaining saying stuff don't work if you got a service and you're not using it.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? It doesn't. That's like saying brushing your teeth don't work, but you never use toothpaste. When brushing your teeth, you're missing a benefit. I just use water and the toothbrush.
And watch the videos that are there for
Yeah,
you.
watch
Some
the
people,
video.
they
A
never
lot of
watch the
y'all,
video. They
we
never
done gave up.
you.
Y'all ain't watching them videos. We know that. We done gave up
Yeah.
on that because it is rare that people, we send you when you sign up a video list. That's why I tell you, if you just come on in one time, just one time, then a lot of time too, I can go through your situation right there and we can discuss. So what the elite credit system is giving you is customization. And if you ain't using the customization, just go on and buy the package then. I'll be honest and save yourself. Your point is you're paying $39.99. Then people will be like, hey, I ain't getting no result. You ain't getting no results because you ain't working it. That's like me. I tried to lose weight and I ain't pulling back from the plate and I'm not using my walk pad in my room. And I wonder why I paid all of this for this walk pad. Ain't nothing happened. Yeah, it ain't working because you ain't working it. So what you, I ain't Jesus. I ain't turning water into wine. All right. And faith without works is dead. You know it. If you got faith, as James said, you say you got faith, I'll show you my works. You got to get to work because if not, you're not doing it. Or you're going to have to release. We talked about that last week. Y'all might have to start cutting and doing self-care. I think we spoke on that last week. Y'all got a lot of parasites around you, and some of y'all can't get to your own stuff because you're saving everybody else. And there's some problematic people in your life. You might have to take care of you and your stuff. All right. Sometimes I have to do that. I have to check out because you got a lot of people you manage and people in my personal life, business life. Everybody got a problem, but sometimes you like, hey, hold on. If you constantly taking care of everybody else's stuff, you'll never get to your stuff. So you might have to say, hey, for a month, y'all, remember, you only send out letters one time. Y'all only have to focus for one little day, print the letters, put them in mail. Then you got to wait 30 days anyway. So you only taking one day out of every month. It's not even a whole month. Okay. So, and somebody said, yeah, leeches. That's what happened. And you'll be surprised your babies could be a leech and you would hate that. Some children, some spouses, some mamas, some daddies, it be, we love too. You'll love them leeches. They're just not out the blue. So thank you everyone that joined me. Oh, Miss Wilson. Oh, you the one that said and the leeches. Yes, Miss Wilson. I responded back to your email. Please, Miss Wilson, check out those steps and email me back. Okay, Miss Wilson. And she said, yeah. She said, Mom's 23 years. Oh, oh, those little babies, with them umbilical cords, you carry them, but they got to come to a point where they got to walk on their own. Our back start to hurt a little bit, or your hip. So thank you, you guys. Thank you so much. We hope to see you guys next week. If you have any questions, if you sign up, I'll love to see you guys at the meeting coming up. And we would love to welcome you and get you started. So take those steps and we'll be dropping those links. So even afterwards you watch this, that you can get to the information. So have a blessed weekend, everyone. Thank you so much for showing.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye.